All right, welcome back. Let's move into the next segment. Earlier, when Moyo was speaking, she made mention of the dominance of men and the playing of this instrument, and this is something that could be attributed to the low people's lean towards masculinity. So I came across a document about that suggested the same, or also made mention of the barriers attributed to loose culturally into masculinity, and mentioning this instrument was one of the things he spoke about in documents. He made quite valid points and suggested that these masculine attributes can be noticeable in activities surrounding the instruments like ownership, playing, and performance style. When you hear this, the first thing that comes to mind is the size of the instrument. Is it heavy, right? But this is more of the playing position than the size or shape of the instrument. The traditional system style for men and women found in most African societies has kind of helped in this stereotyping towards or around this instrument. And when you look at the playing style of the Nyatiti, it demands you sitting with open legs, which is culturally inappropriate for women to sit with open legs, right? Another thing he made mention of was the expression or praise of traditional valued masculine attributes in the lyrics of traditional Nyatiti songs, and the praising of only male patrons and heroes in their music. But now we've seen women from this generation come in and break down barriers like they always do, and it's something we should be proud of. Now we have women playing the Nyatiti, using it in their songs, and even playing traditionally. The first woman that became popular playing the Nyatiti was Anyango, and surprisingly, she's Japanese. So she came across the Nyatiti in an African music concert where they were displaying instruments and took interest, and made the version and went down to Kenya to learn how to play the instrument, and also learn the culture of the Igbo people, which is something that is very important before being let into the secrets of the Nyatiti. It took her months before she was let into the secrets, because she had to go through some kind of training just to associate and live with the people, to know what it's like to be a Luo. So, but then we also seen the likes of Judy Mbwaya also come out, being another popular woman that have learned and that is playing this instrument. Also, the teaching of Anyango kind of had a lot of pushbacks from popular United players, because they were like, why not teach Kenyan women first? Why are you teaching a total stranger? But I'm guessing it's sort of, who wanted it most. That's, why Anyango became the first woman to actually play this instrument. Now there are schools set up to train people, not just, male children, but also females who pick interest in learning the Nyatiti and learning about the music culture or as a Luo person. So this is something that has been on the surface level, or on the surface level of the Nyatiti, and now this dominance is not something that is very popular among Nyatiti players, because now we see women playing the instrument also. And then when you look at Nyatiti instrument in Benga music, when you look at the story of Benga, say it's kind of adopted the Nyatiti and the Orutu during its origination. So why this style of music, this genre rather, adopted these elements of two of the main traditional instruments found in Kenya, in the Nyatiti and Orutu. I don't believe that the style that was borrowed by this pioneering artist from Nyatiti was the play style. So when you talk about the guitar, you talk about strumming, but instead of strumming, the guitar chords are being picked. In Benga music, they call it finger picking style. So it's also the same thing that we see in Nyatiti, where these fishing lines that help produce sounds are being picked instead of strummed. So that's the technique that was borrowed from Nyatiti. Then the repetition that is found in Orutumi music that is also employed to making Benga and Hangla music. So that's just a few points about the influence of Nyatiti on Benga music. So I'm going to be playing a video of Ayub Ogada and some of the top Nyatiti players talking about these instruments and its significance to their culture. And also we see Anyango, the first female player, also talk about how she came across the instruments. Just take a listen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm here at home underneath this beautiful mango tree, which is giving me so many fruits. And I'm carrying an instrument, which is giving me. The way you play it, the instrument always sings its name. Yeah, it's still saying its name. Nyatiti, Nyatiti. If you play the rhythm properly, the instrument always praises itself.
The Nyatiti is a very, very unique instrument. I've traveled around and I've not seen anywhere where they play Nyatiti.
The Nyatiti is a lyre, originating from the Luo people in western Kenya.
We call her the queen of the clan.
In 2017, Singing Well set out to explore the Nyatiti to meet its players, both old and new.
Yes, Nyatiti is a spiritual instrument. It's not just an instrument.
We wanted to understand how the Nyatiti has evolved in the 21st century, but to look forward, we needed to look back. Seeing how the Nyatiti is made teaches you a lot about the Luo themselves.
The strings, we Jaluo, we are fishermen. So we made an instrument from fishing wire.
Its resonator is built from fig and oak trees, some of the strongest trees in western Kenya. The construction is arduous. A skilled Nyatiti maker spends hours carving it out. The resonator is made to resemble the hearts of a Luo village and are then covered in leather skin.
So he buys the skin when it's dry and then he has to soak it, soften it, so that it can be easy for installation in there.
And then two arms and a head is attached. An opening is cut into the back of the resonator, allowing for sound to be projected outward. The strings are then looped around through the instrument over papyrus attached with beeswax. Today, the best Nyatiti makers still live in the villages.
For us to have a mass production of Nyatiti, we need to have a mass production of people going back there and living with those people and knowing exactly why they were making these instruments.
Of course, the true heart of the Nyatiti lies in the uniqueness of its sound.
Nyatiti has 5 notes. It's a pentatonic scale instrument.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even one string. That one note is a song. That's all I need. I've got 5. So if I can write a song on one string, what can I do with 5?
Meet William, one of the oldest players we met, buying his first Nyatiti for 8 shillings in 1951. The Nyatiti is traditionally played like this, by a man sat down with percussion being drummed out by the foot, on which he wears a series of bells called a gara.
This thing over here is like a drum set. This is like a snare. And the jiggle is like a shaker. So, you see, they were so wise to create something like that. One person, you carry like the whole band.
Traditionally, the Nyatiti was an essential part of Luo life.
Nyatiti was part of the daily life of the people.
The Nyatiti even held a spiritual significance within the village.
The witch doctors of the Luo, most of them have the Nyatiti. Sometimes they could play to foretell what is happening in the society.
And so, the traditional Nyatiti style is inextricably linked to the Luo life.
So, to play traditionally, you cannot cross boundaries because that music is dedicated to a certain sect of people. They understand what I'm saying. They understand the lands I'm talking about. To understand the instrument, you must live in the area.
Because of this rich traditional heritage, many contemporary players have found resistance when trying to transform the style of music.
At some point, I started also to show my teacher, this is how I'm doing. No, that wasn't allowed. It was a big fight. You cannot do that. I've never taught you that. And I guess that old man was right because he wanted me to have a foundation, to learn the rules before I break the rules.
But to thrive in the contemporary market, sometimes the rules have to be broken.
And that is what is creating my music, because of survival, not because I'm a great musician.
Shifts in the Nyatiti style have led to great innovations.
Going back to the roots, to me that's important because that's where I get my ideas, my style of music. You can actually play Nyatiti and rap, or play Nyatiti and do reggae. But it's not like you're just going to do hip-hop in the Nyatiti. You first have to learn the Nyatiti music, how it goes. Then you know how to make your hip-hop within the Nyatiti. You shifted your mind. So your hip-hop is coming from the Nyatiti into the hip-hop, not hip-hop into the Nyatiti. So that is very important.
Some of the biggest shifts are not in how the music is played, but rather in who gets to play it. Anyango is not only the first female Nyatiti player, but she isn't even African. She reportedly discovered the instrument at a music festival.
I saw many kinds of Kenyan traditional music. One of them, it was Nyatiti. I got very shocked and surprised. What is this instrument? Very unique, and this sound, it's really touched me. So I was fall in love with the Nyatiti kind of.
And so Anyango got in touch with Okumu Korengo, the would-be teacher. To prove her seriousness, she had to live with him in his homestead for months.
Because I had to learn Luo language. Sometimes I got malaria.
Only after proving her complete commitment and respect was she trained.
I had to go to every morning to fetch the water, gathering firewood. But I didn't have feeling of want to give up. Maybe because of the spirit of Nyatiti.
She developed her own style and brought Nyatiti to an international audience. But this association of the instrument away from the Luo was not met with universal approval.
I respect her. She did work. She learned. But why did he not teach Kenyan women first?
Still, Anyango is credited with opening the floodgate for female Nyatiti players.
They used to say that women are not supposed to touch any traditional instrument. For me, I don't think it's a taboo. It's selfishness. They want to take all the good things with them.
We can see the Nyatiti evolve with Kenya, but for this evolution to continue, the most important focus needs to be the next generation.
The small guys in school, there are some who don't know, they've never even seen the instrument.
The problem is that traditionally, older players never had formal teachers. Instead, they would imitate their fathers or uncles in the village.
They never have like formal sitting, you know. There was no one time they sat down with his father and, okay, this is how you play. No way.
So for those outside the villages, it's difficult to find a way to learn.
You can't learn someone's culture in 3 months, in 2 months. You need to live with them there and know exactly what is happening.
This is why Rapasa has teamed up with Fezi Mawuncho to teach the next generation.
They come here, they learn, kind of like a nurturing place, like a womb, like a hub. We feel that it's an important part of our culture, but it's also an important part of our education.
What you see on TV, for example, is the piano or the guitar. And the kids, for example, they will only imitate what they see every day.
Our government has not been very keen on emphasizing the arts, particularly in recent years. And when kids are learning instruments, it's always with an emphasis on the West. I think it's because we live in the 21st century, but we feel that being Africans, our instruments and our culture have something to offer the rest of the world.
It's the most interesting instrument I've been learning how to play, and yeah, I like it a lot. Like the first time I ever saw it was from a lady, and generally that's not what's done. So I thought that was cool because I had some knowledge that this was a man instrument, and so that the fact that she was playing it was interesting.
Can you play this fast and then you play this again?
You've seen some of the children that have been singing. There's about 40 of them that come here on a regular basis, once a week. And we work together in training the children, specifically in our traditional sounds and our traditional instruments.
Nyatiti will always be Nyatiti. Play it like it is. It is up to you to make it sound different.
Because of the interest I see in Kenya today, the youth, the young people are coming up to play. The Nyatiti would last million years to come.
Auma